Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome, everybody, to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive. And I want to say welcome if you're here at the Heal Your Hunger Show for the first time. Congratulations. And it's a very exciting time. Why? Because we are getting close to episode 500 of the Heal Your Hunger Show. Hey, did you hear? The Heal Your Hunger Show is approaching episode 500. Come celebrate with us at the fabulous 500 live Zoom studio recording of episode 500. It's coming up soon. You'll be the first to hear the new theme song for the Heal Your Hunger Show, and you'll get connected with other Heal Your Hunger Show listeners. We're gifting 25 people a complimentary ticket to the live Zoom studio recording of episode 500. To claim your ticket and be entered to win prizes, including the grand prize, which is a seat in my concierge program to end emotional eating, all you need to do is write to questions@healyourhunger.com and share one way that the Heal Your Hunger Show has helped you on your path to heal your relationship with food. That's it. Just send an email and tell me why the Heal Your Hunger podcast has helped you. I can't wait to see you at the fabulously 500 live Zoom celebration event. Have you taken the emotional eating quiz yet? Guess what? You can take a quiz on my website. It takes about 3 minutes, and you can determine if you're an emotional eater or a food addict or somewhere in between by getting a personalized score based on the questions that you answer. Yes, you'll get a personalized score that will tell you exactly where you are on the emotional eating spectrum. So go to healyourhunger.com, take the quiz, find out for sure, and then you'll get next steps on how to begin your healing journey. Okay, on with the show. So the other day, my guy, my wonderful, fabulous guy, he was paying me a compliment, and I don't know what happened, but he's like, "You don't believe me, do you?" And I said, "Well, I know I know I have good qualities, but I also think you're snowed. I have you snowed." And I just want to say that if you're someone who sometimes doubts the compliments that are given to you, if you sometimes feel like, wow, I have those people snowed, or wow, if only they really knew me, this episode is for you. Okay? The imposter syndrome is a syndrome that many people have, especially emotional eaters. I would venture to say we kind of take the cake on this. So statistically speaking, approximately 70% of people actually experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. So it's not peculiar to emotional eaters, but I do want to talk about this with you because I think we do have this very often, and it drives our emotional eating. Feeling as though we're living a double life, feeling as though we're imposters, as though we have people snowed. If they really knew me, they would reject me. They would know I'm not all that in a bag of chips. And so I want to talk about this because frankly, it sneaks back into my life. I generally don't have it. I think that my self-esteem has been restored in such a beautiful, wonderful way through the healing process that I've been on, the journey I've been on, the very same one I walk people through. My step-by-step program is based on really a foundation of learning how to love oneself, because that way, when you love yourself, you want to put good things in your body. You can't be imposed from the outside, some diet imposed on you. It has to come from within. When you feel better about yourself, you want to treat your body with love and respect. So I have overcome imposter syndrome and overcome feeling like I'm not an amazing person, but it does sneak back in sometimes where I'm like, yeah, I'm not really that as great as he thinks I am. So if you feel that way at times, I want to address this and really talk about where this imposter syndrome comes from. Imposter syndrome is really just feeling like you don't deserve the praise, recognition, status, position that you've earned. Okay? You feel unworthy and like you don't belong. You feel like you're going to get caught, found out, rejected, kicked out, fired. Do you relate to those feelings? At any moment, they're going to realize, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm going to get fired. This is very common for us as emotional eaters. And I believe that's because we typically, this may not apply to you, but many of us typically grew up with a feeling of unworthiness, a feeling that we weren't good, that we weren't enough. And when we don't have a strong sense of ourselves, we feel like we need to create a persona. This is what I did, is I thought, who I am cannot possibly measure up. I can't possibly measure up. So I need to pretend to be Sally and Susie and Sarah because somehow they have it going on, right? I did the compare and despair thing. We all do it, where I think everybody's got it together but me. So I compare myself. I don't measure up, and then I play pretend. I start pretending I'm more than I am, or at least I feel like I'm pretending. Okay. And I don't give myself credit for the actual beautiful, wonderful skills and talents that I do have. And so we build a sense of living a double life when we don't feel like we're enough, when we feel like we have to be someone else. We have to somehow create this persona that is much more acceptable than who we really are, because who we really are couldn't possibly pass muster. Am I hitting home here? Okay, so this is where imposter syndrome comes from. And I'm not going to get all clinical with you about this. I mean, the key symptoms, I will say, are chronic self-doubt, attributing achievements to luck, having a fear of being exposed. These are clinical ways that imposter syndrome shows up. Depression and anxiety as well. Fear, it could be claustrophobia or some other kind of phobias. But it's not peculiar to emotional eaters, like I said, but it is something we have in spades because we typically didn't grow up with a strong sense of ourselves. And then we began creating this mask. And when you live with a mask, you feel like you're living a double life. And when you feel like you're living a double life, you feel like an imposter. Okay? It's kind of simple. Where does imposter syndrome come from besides just having a lack of self-worth? Well, certainly family dynamics can play a part. If you have a set of parents that have high expectations of you, if there's a lack of praise in your family, someone is ruling with an iron fist and not praising you, not seeing your good qualities. Sometimes overpraising, the exact opposite, can contribute as well. If you have a home where they just think you're the cat's meow, then you go out into the real world and you're like, oh my God, I'm not that, but I have to pretend to be that. That can do it. In school, the pressure to excel academically can embed these feelings of inadequacy. So it can come from different places, okay? But I do find for myself personally that at a very young age, I just felt like I wasn't enough. And of course, that contributed to my overeating, my overdoing to prove my worth. It was a big problem for me because when I was an overdoer and extending myself, right, burning the candle at both ends, then I was tired. My adrenals were exhausted. I was burned out. And plus, I was resentful because I felt like I was underappreciated. And so I would eat to compensate. All right. So overeating is like a natural consequence of this imposter syndrome and all that ensues. When we don't feel like we're enough and we have to prove our worth, we get exhausted. And then we reward ourselves with food. So, like I said, statistically speaking, it can contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression and burnout. And it's just, we're on the hamster wheel of proving ourselves. So how do we heal imposter syndrome? What do we do about this? Really important to know that you are worthy just as you are. Roy, my mentor, said to me early on, he said, you're a human being, not a human doing. And I was 21 years old. I was already trying to, prove my worth, prove that I could accomplish myself into a sense of worth. Like if I did enough, if I accomplished enough, if I had enough degrees, I would be a worthy person. And of course, that doesn't do it. How many people have done that? They've chased the degrees, and it didn't matter how many letters by their name that they had, they still felt worthless. Okay, so it is an inside job. It's a trite saying, but it is an inside job. You have to stop trying to prove yourself and know that you're worthy just as you are. and I would recommend spending some time looking at your schedule and saying, where am I doing things that don't serve me? So the key is look at your schedule and see what you're doing that doesn't really fit you. Are you doing things for the wrong reasons? Are you doing things because you think it makes you look good? It makes you acceptable. It's feeding your ego. It's making you feel like a worthwhile person. And I don't mean from the inside. I mean because you're creating an image. Beware of image creating, mask making, because that will create a sense of, or reinforce a sense of being an imposter. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're living a double life. You're one person on the outside and you're another when you get home from work. It just creates a sense of loneliness, disconnection, and inauthenticity. And we eat over that. So look at your schedule, see, are your activities coming from a place of worth? Like, is it coming because you want to give back? Is it coming because you have talents and this is a way that you express those talents? Or are you creating a mask? Are you doing something because of how it looks, or perhaps you're compensating for that sense of self-worth? Just take a look at it. That's all. Take a look at it. Next thing you can do is take a look at your negative self-talk, okay? Because chances are if you feel like an imposter, you're feeding yourself a bunch of BS about your lack of talent, your lack of skills. Watch the negative self-talk. I'm no good at this. I suck at this. They're going to find out that I'm no good at this. Everybody knows how to do this but me. Those kinds of chattery thoughts in your mind, they erode your self-esteem. They erode your self-confidence. They contribute to self-doubt and a feeling of not being authentic where you are. And they're BS. They're BS. So call it out. You can even say, oh, really? I'm not good at what I do? Really? I wonder why they've been giving me a paycheck for the past 10 years. Like, talk back to that negative voice. Call it on its bullshit, okay? Really? Really? I'm not a good wife? Gee, I just picked up my husband's dry cleaning. I just took the kids to the pool. I'm working part-time. Just talk back to that BS voice that's telling you you're no good, because it contributes to imposter syndrome. Another thing that I have found very healing is my practice of meditation. Meditation has healed me in so many ways that I have to bang the drum. Okay. I have to say, please, if you do nothing else, adopt a practice of meditation. And if you can't sit still and be quiet in meditation, start with a guided meditation. Get Calm app or Insight Timer and start taking 10 minutes or 15 minutes to be quiet and still. So many emotional eaters are running from their feelings. They're so afraid to be with themselves. We don't want to face the imposter, right? We don't want to come face to face with the imposter. We don't want to have to address the feelings of inadequacy. But research shows that mindfulness practices can lower feelings of inadequacy by 20%. Things like journaling, getting the crappy thoughts out of your head, positive affirmations, breathing, meditation. These are all techniques that can help you come home to yourself and learn to be kind to yourself. Learn to be loving and gentle with yourself. That's so important because we're so mean to ourselves as emotional eaters. We tell ourselves so many lies. The next thing you can do and must do, in my opinion, is build a support system. Have people in your life who are your biggest champions. This is what we do at Heal Your Hunger, is we give each other so much positive reinforcement. We recognize the beautiful qualities in each other because sometimes we just can't see it for ourselves. So we see the reflection in others of who we truly are, not who we say we are with our critical self-talk. So get people around you who think you're the cat's meow and tell you so. I started this show talking about my guy. He just thinks I'm great, and he tells me so. He's incredibly expressive. Even though I sometimes go negative, I'm like, he doesn't really know me, or, I have him snowed. No, I most of the time take it in, and I love it. I love being complimented for good ideas. Get people like that in your corner. And if they're not at home, get some girlfriends, get a coach, get in a program where you're being positively reinforced every single day, because we've been beaten down for so long by this condition of emotional eating and by all the negative chatter, all the self-criticisms, that we need those positive affirmations every single day. You can give them to yourself, especially after you hear yourself saying something mean to yourself, counter it with something positive, but also from other people. We need that constant bombardment of good thoughts and positive reflections. Other things that can help with imposter syndrome is just writing out the facts. Journaling's so good because you can state the facts, just like I said, talking back to the critical thoughts. You can write it out on paper. No, these are things that I did. The other day I was beating myself up because I feel like I didn't spend enough time with Roy before he died. And I was just working myself into such a feeling of hopelessness. Like, I suck. He's gone. I don't have a do-over, and I just have to live with this horrible feeling of failure. And then, by the grace of God, the clouds parted, and I thought, now wait a minute. A day before he died, you texted him to see how he was doing. You jumped in the car to go pick him up when it was raining outside later in the day. You texted him later and said you were going to Costco. Can I pick up anything for you? I literally had these interactions the day before he died. It's not like I was ignoring him. We lived in the same neighborhood, so we could, help each other out. And we always did that for each other. And I was doing that. So it's not like I was neglecting him. But my mind was telling me differently. And I countered it with, here are the facts. Here's what actually happened. And we have to do that. We have to interrupt the negative story with truth. Okay? Other things you can do, just take care of yourself. Walk, get out, have fun, go to a movie, get together with girlfriends, do positive things that get you out of your head, that interrupt the negative self-talk. All right? Get grateful. Focus on good things that are happening in your life that are good, positive things that you can take note of and get your mind on a more positive track. Okay? The other thing is you can talk about feeling like an imposter. Research shows that discussing imposter syndrome with others can literally reduce its impact by 25%. Why? Because everybody has it. People at one time or other feel this way to some degree. So when you name it, when you stop living in secrecy, like, oh, it's really true. When you start talking about it, you realize it's total BS. Everybody's got it, right? Just the key is to be around positive, supportive, encouraging people. And know for yourself that you're a child of God, created to be so beautiful, so full of light and love. That's who you really are. Don't believe the BS. You deserve to be happy, joyous, and free, healthy, wealthy, and wise. You deserve that. And you don't have to be somebody else to be worthy of that. You're worthy right now. I hope this is helpful. Sending you so much love. Stay tuned for the next show. I'll see you soon. Hey, did you hear? The Heal Your Hunger show is approaching episode 500. Come celebrate with us at the fabulous 500 live Zoom studio recording of episode 500. It's coming up soon. You'll be the first to hear the new theme song for the Heal Your Hunger show, and you'll get connected with other Heal Your Hunger show listeners. We're gifting 25 people a complimentary ticket to the live Zoom studio recording of episode 500. To claim your ticket and be entered to win prizes, including the grand prize, which is a seat in my concierge program to end emotional eating, all you need to do is write to questions@healyourhunger.com and share one way that the Heal Your Hunger show has helped you on your path to heal your relationship with food. That's it. Just send an email and tell me why the Heal Your Hunger podcast has helped you. I can't wait to see you at the fabulously 500 live Zoom celebration event.